Hello and all, welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. So for my very next guest is another incredible artist called Brandi Vezina. So I'm about to add Brandi into the live now and have a chat with Brandi about her incredible music. And yeah, let's add Brandi in and have a chat with Brandi. Hello, Brandi, how's it going?
Good, Jacob. How are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It is such an incredible pleasure having you on the show for today. To people that don't know who you are, Brandy, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Awesome. My name's Brandi Vezina Tache. I'm a Métis singer-songwriter from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I come from a musical Métis family. So in Australia, you might not know what Métis is. I know you have Indigenous people, Aborigine people. Well, my culture is a mixture of Indigenous and typically in the past it was fur traders and whatnot, people who first came to Canada, and our culture came together within the last couple hundred years. And my family are true Red River Métis settlers. So I'm like I come from a beautiful Indigenous culture here in Manitoba.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Brandy. So for my very first question, so you've created a song out now called "Dodge the Bullet." Fantastic name title of the song, by the way. Uh, what was it like creating this song, and what's the meaning behind "Dodge the Bullet"?
So I brought this idea to my favorite co-writers. We had a co-write scheduled, and I had actually just come from a a funeral of an ex-boyfriend of mine's, and I was like pretty angsty and kind of a little bit like PO'd. So I brought that idea in and it wrote itself. So my favorite co-writers that I've been writing with, Liz Christensen and Sarah Elliott, are out of Calgary, Alberta. Check out their music, they're incredible. And yeah, this one just wrote itself. I told the story of some of my experiences, the fact that I was able to bring my grandmother in because my granny actually she did go out to the bush and make an offering and pray, and it's legitimately like it's a true story. And to have my granny singing background vocals and be in the video, like it's beautiful and it's very original, right? Like how many people have their 83-year-old grandmother in their video?
So on to my very next question for you. So like you've created other original songs and stuff in the past and present, and for the first, like for the next one I'm going to mention is Gasoline. Like creating this one, what was it like coming up with the name title, creating this like song called Gasoline? Like what came up with your idea of wanting to create this?
So the title came on its own. I came with the idea again about a relationship that was just super not good. Like I could have entitled it Trauma Bond, but it wouldn't have been as chic or like sexy, right? So, yeah, I brought it in again to Liz and Sarah and just gave the background of the story. Sorry, I have several animals. My cats are
You're
doing
fine.
that. So this one again, truly and seriously, I'm 10 years sober. I'm in my 11th year of sobriety. And I feel we just channel like with my songs. Oh, I'm so sorry. Otis. That's my three-legged little dog. Come here, Odie. Want to meet people in Australia? Come here. Um, so yeah, this one again, I brought to Liz and Sarah, and truly and seriously, the story and then the title emerged on its own. Sometimes what I do when I'm writing is I come in with the idea and the title is already kind of drives the idea of the song. But this one was the concept and the title came on its own in that session. And we wrote it within 3 hours, actually. So a typical kind of like Nashville write. But yeah, it's a feisty one and it's a sassy one. And a lot of people seem to like it actually.
Well, on to my very next question. So you've also created a song called "Do It Right." What was it like creating this one, and what's the meaning behind "Do It Right"?
I came in intentionally with Liz and Sarah again. Sorry, I think I had something in my tooth. I hope I didn't to your viewers up there.
No,
My
you're
apologies.
fine. You're fine.
Sorry, I was hungry. I ate right before. Um, but I came in with the idea that, okay, you know what? People are probably getting sick of me singing about relationships all the time. Let's actually write something kind of badass, super female driven. I don't know if you ever seen the video. In the 90s, it was an Aerosmith video with Alicia Silver,
Yeah.
what's her last name? And
Alicia Silver Spoon, something like that ish. Yeah.
Silverstone-ish and Liv Tyler, and they're just like super sexy, and they're getting cheap sunglasses, and they're driving, and I was just like, you know, I've been on many road trips with girlfriends, and I don't drink, but I mean, I was once a wild party animal, so it's not like I don't know about it. Um, so that one was just about going out, having a good time, going with your girlfriends. I'm a huge Stones fan, so we said Stones on the radio, 100 miles left to go. So just played on words, and I like it. It's fun. I end a lot of my sets last festival season. Look at my dog, he's all comfortable, and my cat in the background.
Oh,
Um, I ended festival season last year with Do It Right. And my band were like, Brandi, we like the song. Let's finish our sets with this. So, I mean, that's like a testament to people like to dance to it and it's fun. So it's a fun one. I enjoy it. It has a good message. It's enjoyable. It's super chill.
so on to my very next question. So you've also created a song called Danger. What was it like creating this one, and what's the meaning behind Danger?
Danger was the first song that I ever wrote, so on my own. So I had gone to a Manitoba Arts Network emerging artist program. And of the 5 artists there in 2018, I was the only one who didn't have my own original music. And I was like, this is bull shiznit. So I prayed and I was like, Great Spirit, John Trudell, Louis Riel, can you please gift me with the words, the lyrics to this song? I went back to my hotel and in 20 minutes, I wrote Danger. And here in Canada, we have like, there is major, we have many, many missing and murdered Indigenous women all throughout North America, Turtle Island, specifically in Canada. And, you know, I just wanted to write some. I don't even think I was meant to write it. It wrote itself, and it was, you know, for women to and men, non-binary, trans, whatever. It was for people to just tune into their intuition. And I swear the song, the words, they just came. They were gifted to me, and I brought it to my producer who I just met, and he was like, I like it, but I actually didn't put out. So I wrote Danger in 2018, and I didn't actually put it out until I think 2021. So I sat on it for a while. But when I play a lot of live gigs by myself, that's one of my go-tos because like you can hear the actual meaning in my voice because it is not from me, it's from spirit to share with other people.
So on to my very next question. So what made you decide as a person and especially as an artist to get into singing in the first place?
I come from a musical family, number one. I watched my mother sing on stage from the time I was born. There was like these wild country parties when I was a child that beers would be clanging and guitars would be twanging like I'm truly from the country. And I just seen music my entire life. I watched my grandparents play. My mom married a musician and yeah, so I wanted to be my brother's manager at one point, and I did the safe thing. I went straight from high school to university. I worked for many years as a teacher, loved it, loved the kids, but I was just like, I do not want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, this is not what my heart is calling for. And then I got serious about music and I put out my first single in 2019 and things have just really been taken off. I'm part-time teaching. Eventually I will leave teaching completely. I mean, it's a blessing to have a 9 to 5, but my intention is to play music, do my online coaching, tour, travel, and just live a good life.
So on to my very next question. So what does performing music like mean to you? Like when you're performing with crowds, like what does it mean to you? Like especially as an artist?
That's my favorite part. I think you build a fan base one fan at a time. And, my bass player, I was saying, he's been with me since the beginning. And I was like, it is so crazy, Vaughn. Like, it blows my mind that people buy tickets and come and watch us and they have fun and they're dancing. And he's like, Brandi, they know your lyrics. And to me, that's the best part is, I go watch my favorite bands because I love them. I forget about all my troubles. I dance, I sing. Where I'm from Winnipeg, I will say we have the best bands in the world. I mean, I'm biased, but
Yeah.
big people touring bands that come through here are just like they get goosebumps because we're just so passionate here. And yeah, playing like some people, that's a hard part for them and they have to push themselves. I've been on stage my entire life. I sang since I was a little kid. I love it. It's a blast. I love connecting to the audience, and I truly appreciate people who come out and take the time to watch us. Like, I don't take that for granted because you don't get back your time, and people who spend their hard-earned money to come watch me, like, that blows my mind.
So on to my very next question. So what is your all-time favorite cover song to perform and why?
Okay. Well, obviously, it's Honky Tonk Woman by the Stones. Because I'm an outlaw country, I'm a sasspot, I'm a badass, and I grew up on the Stones. I love them. They're like when they were kind of in the 70s, they were going into like a very kind of country sound. They had recorded it, I think, at Muscle Shoals in Alabama. My favorite, it's my go-to. And I just like the guitar. It's like sassy, it speeds up, it slows down, and that's my all-time favorite cover song.
So on to my very next question. So if you could work with any top three music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why?
Number one, Miranda Lambert, obviously. Um, I just love all the things she's doing, like, her as an artist, but then also she has delved into songwriting. She actually just wrote on a number one Morgan Wallen song. Her band, the Pistol Annies, she's brought together many female artists, like on Fooled Around and Fell in Love. I just love her. I love her songwriting. I love her sound. She'd be my number one top I would love to write with. And even, for her to produce my music would be like a dream come true. Um, Rick Rubin, obviously, because he's like a legendary producer, and I think he creates amazing music. And um, I would love to do any like just create with Keith Richards because he's my favorite, and he's the ultimate. He's rock and roll, man.
So on to my very next question. So if you could go anywhere on tour, take your music to any place, any country in the world, like where would you want to take your music to and why?
I want to go to the UK, actually. I want to go to Europe. I come to Australia. I'm just super scared of a lot of your killer animals down there, to be honest.
Okay.
But Europe, I've always said I would love to go to Europe when it's like a paid trip because I have blood memory from Europe and like within my, genetics and whatnot. But I would just love to bring because I love to have a fiddle player in my band. My fiddle player, guitar player, lead guitar player right now is also Red River Métis. And I know in Europe they love, like, I would bring our authentic country Red River Métis sound, and they would get a real feel for Indigenous music and like straight from the country. And that's something that I think would be a great gift to share and just experience and see, North America, Turtle Island is Europe's baby, right? So I'd like to experience it.
So on to my very next question. So what advice would you give to upcoming artists that want to get into music? And yeah, what advice would you give them?
It's an industry. And be kind to everybody because there might be somebody who you take for granted and you don't treat well, but that person might turn around and be the head of a radio station or a newspaper or whatever later on in life. Even if people are young and they're just starting out, don't be an a-hole because you never know who they're going to end up being, how it's going to affect your career. And you can be great and talented and amazing, but if you're doing that in your basement, that's not enough. This is an industry. You have to learn to market yourself. You should take lessons and improve and learn what's like current and relevant. And it's hard ass work, but it is worth every single penny and experience. And authenticity is worth its weight in gold. Learn who you are and don't let A&R companies tell you who you are.
So on to my very next question. So if now Brandi could talk to younger Brandi over, like looking back over your time in the music industry, like what advice would you give to your younger self and why?
I would have said don't do things that society tells you to do. You don't have to play it safe and go become a teacher right away. Like if you love music, girl, kick ass and do it. Just do it. You can always do the safe thing, but go for it 100% because you're going to do great and it's going to be awesome.
So on to my very next question. So what are the positive and negative side into the music industry, and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
Well, there's always that comparison, right? That FOMO, like fear of missing out of what somebody else is doing. That's all nonsense. Stay in your own lane. Realize what your strategies and successes are. And if you're doing better than you were last year, you're moving and you're grooving. So the negative part is it's constant comparison to other people, which isn't a good thing because you're doing it for the wrong reason. But the amazing part is this is a viable business. You can make a living and have a good living if you're willing to put your heart and soul into it. And it's tough. It's not easy. It's not meant for everybody. You're going to fail. You're going to figure things out. So you're going to waste money, but it'll all come around. That's the positive part is as long as a person doesn't quit and you continue to grow, it only gets better.
So on to my very last question for you. So like what's next like for the rest of 2023 onwards? Like what would you like to announce on the show?
Um, I have a big, huge show here in Manitoba where I'm featuring several Manitoba artists, which is going to be amazing. I'm going to be going up to the polar bear capital of the world, which is like my bucket list. I'm going up to Churchill. There, we're working together to bring my band and I up to northern Manitoba, which in this lifetime, I'm an environmentalist. My first degree was an environmental science degree. And when I'm an elder, polar bears will not be in the wild anymore because of climate change. They're like the epitome of climate change. Um, there's that. I'll be putting out 2 more singles and a Christmas song. My band and I are going to be recording that within the next couple months, and things are they're beautiful. Festival season is going to be a blast. I'm working on a fall tour and just continuing to move. I've been very blessed to be writing with an amazing songwriter out of Nashville who had his first #1 recently with Luke Bryan's Country On. And we're writing monthly, we're pals and forging that relationship. And yeah, I have new music coming and it's my album next year is just it's going to be fun. It's going to be me in a nutshell and my growth as a woman, my growth as an artist. So that's on its way too.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Brandi, for taking the time to join my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure, and you have been such an amazing vibe, by the way. Like, I love your vibe, I love your energy. It's just so beautiful to see. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to share to people on the show?
Well, first of all, Marcy for having my Canadian Red River Métis self on your show. Thank you for saying my vibe is nice.
You're very welcome.
And I just say the sooner we all learn to work through our fears, doubts, and insecurities that aren't even ours, that were passed on intergenerationally, and the more we think of others and the earth and animals, we'll survive. We're in a damn climate crisis, and if we don't get our stuff together, we're all toast. So we better figure it out sooner than later.
I knew I'd end up seeing you out again. In this town, it's just a matter of to fall for that, for your smooth talking empty lines. You keep playing the same old games. How'd I think you were my type of guy? It was near miss, it was a close call. Boy, you had me in a chokehold. I was unhinged, falling, coming undone, thinking love was staring down the barrel of a gun. 3, 2, 1, I dodged a bullet. Oh, oh, I dodged a bullet. My granny was praying I'd see the light. With all the hell you put me through, now you're somebody else's wasted time. Does she know what she's getting into? 'Cause you still hit me up late at night while she's lying right next to you. It was a near miss, it was a close call. Boy, you had me in a chokehold. I was unhinged, falling, coming undone, thinking love was staring down the barrel of a gun. 2, 1, I dodged a bullet. Oh, oh, I dodged a bullet. Oh, oh, I dodged a bullet. Took all the love I gave to you. You left in pieces. I turned it into something new and learned what I needed. It was a near miss, it was a close call. Boy, you had me in a chokehold. I was unhinged, falling.